Hey everyone, my name is Dmitry Palkin. I'm a professional tattoo artist based in the US. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. Today, in this video, I want to show you a comparison between two machines, Vlad Blad Avenger 3 Pro and Vlad Blad Ultron 3, both wireless. This machine has a 4.2mm stroke, and I set the stroke on this one to 4.2mm as well because I generally work at this stroke length. Today we will be doing a full back tattoo. The tattoo is quite complex. The girl is curvy, so some areas will be difficult to penetrate, and we will see how these machines handle them. Today we are doing just the outlines, so we will test lines of different sizes using a Magnum for some, an RS for others, and a 9RL for the rest. Enjoy watching. Now I am making a bold line with a 7 Magnum. Let's see how it turns out. Then I will go over the edges with a 9RL and fill in some areas because when you use a Magnum, it often leaves these hair-like lines. If you zoom in on this piece, you can see these very thin lines. I will just fill it all in like this, and the outline will be bold and solid. I will use a 9-liner for the edges. The Magnum handles it quite well. I understand that not many people use this method for outlining bold lines, but I like it, so I decided to show you. This is our medium line thickness for the entire tattoo. Now let's see how it outlines with an 11RS. The most important thing is to stretch the skin well. In that case, the lines come out sharp, like from a marker. We can now try using the same needle and with the Ultron, right? Let's see how it goes. Honestly, it feels like there's no difference. The difference is only in the feeling. Visually, it seems to depend on the hands. A professional can tattoo with a nail, but overall, I don't see much difference, to be honest. But I can say that both machines handle this task very well. Lining with an 11RS on the back, we all know how tough the skin on the back is. It feels like Avenger 3 Pro is just a little more convenient and fast. I mainly use it for 11RS bold outlines and packing, and I use Ultron 3 for more delicate work, like when I need a 3 or a 9. For example, we will now do these scales with a 9 using gray washes, just lightly shading them. I'll show you how I do it. Gently, smoothly, they are not the main elements, so we can quickly outline them. They don't need to be very defined, just enough to show their shape. I also really like using Ultron 3 for whip shading. I set it to a minimal speed, around 45 Hz, depending on the skin type. Great, you can see we got neat, clean lines. Again, I wasn't aiming for them to be very defined like the main elements. Now, let's try some black here on the belly. I'm doing this line with Ultron 3 using a 9RL with a 30-gauge needle. The lines are sharp and steady. It's very convenient to work with two machines at once because I can outline some small details with Ultron 3, put it down, pick up my Avenger 3 Pro, and continue working. How long have we been working? We started around 1:15 p.m., right? And what time is it now? 3:45 p.m., so that's 2.5 hours of pure tattooing, and we've done more than half. And that's all thanks to the machine. And the fact that I have two of them. I don't need to waste time switching machines. I can outline with one, then immediately pick up the other, dip it in gray wash, and continue with finer lines. I think we need another 1.5 to 2 hours to finish outlining the back. It's the girl's first tattoo. She's handling it well, but it gets ticklish closer to the lower back, so she starts to twitch. I touch her and she feels ticklish. Now I'm picking up Avenger 3 Pro again and continuing to work with it. Regarding the comparison of the machines, I can say the difference is in the feel. The Avenger is more rigid and works faster. Personally, I find it less convenient for delicate work with a 3RL in tight spots. Maybe it's because of how I hold it. Ultron 3 is more handy for small details, but for larger areas, you just set it to 4.7 or 5.5 stroke, and it quickly makes bold lines. That's its task. Ultron 3 handles these tasks too, but it does it more slowly. Therefore, I definitely recommend professionals use these machines together. The session is over. Here's how the tattoo looks. We did all the outlines in about 4 hours. Considering it's a back tattoo, some parts were uncomfortable to reach. I think it turned out great. So today we have the second session for the back tattoo. 1 week has passed since the first session. The outline is fully healed and looks great. I showed you how it looks. Today I will also be working with the two machines, Ultron 3 and Avenger 3 Pro. I set the Avenger to a 3.5mm stroke today to get softer, smoother shading. I'll explain more about this later. The stroke on Ultron 3 is 4.2mm, and I'll use it for black areas and shades. Let's get to work. Now I'm taking the Ultron with a 15 RM and starting to fill in the black. Let's see how well it does. Everything is perfectly packed, no unnecessary damage anywhere. Just a bit more here and it's done. It fills very well, very densely, confidently. The 4.2mm stroke is one of my favorites because you can do almost any type of work with it. You can outline, fill, and do whip shading. The only thing it doesn't do well is soft shading. Since we are packing this whole area with black, I'll show you what I mean. When we do the shading with a 4.2mm stroke, it lays down like a fence. Even if I do it slowly, it still looks rough. Now on another piece, I'm using Avenger 3 Pro with a 3.5mm stroke. I'll show you how I do smooth shading here. You can see how the shadows look smooth compared to the rougher ones, and you can see the fence-like lines between them. Here, everything is softer. For my main shadows, I use machines with a shorter stroke. You can use a 4.5mm stroke, but it will look dirty and rough. With 3.5mm, the shadows are smoother, softer, and the tattoo looks more refined. So, I think a machine with a 4.2mm stroke is more versatile, but if you can change strokes, it's always a bonus. So guys, it's been 3 hours and a 20-minute break. In 3 hours, we managed to tattoo exactly half of the back. Here's how it looks. The snake appears quite voluminous, and the technique I used here is quite simple. I colored the lower part of the scales just black, the middle part with medium gray wash, and the top part with light gray wash. This created such volume, and it was done quickly and easily. The work isn't very detailed, so it was done quickly, which I and the client are happy with. In some places I could have spent more time, but since it's the back, I don't see the point. I think it will look great from a distance of about 2 meters, with all elements clearly highlighted, and it will stay that way. Regarding the machines, as I started working, I initially thought I would use the Ultron only for dark elements, maybe switching things up. But in the end, I used Ultron 3 only for the black parts. I shaded the leaves, made some lines, and shaded all the black areas with the Ultron. Everything done with gray wash was done with the Avenger. Look at how soft and smooth these shadows turned out. That's because I used a 3.5mm stroke. I think it will take about 2 to 3 more hours to finish this work. The work went very quickly because I used 2 machines simultaneously. For example, I dip one in black and pack. If I need to do something with gray wash, I just put down the machine, pick up the other one, and I don't need to clean it in the process. This really speeds up the workflow. I outline with gray wash, and if I need something black, I immediately pick up the black machine and pack. I don't do this often, and honestly, this might be the first time I'm doing it to compare 2 machines, but I feel that in the future I will use this method constantly. I discovered this cool life hack for myself in today's review, so let's continue packing color. So guys, here's the finished tattoo. It took 2 sessions. I can say that the secret to such fast work is that I used 2 machines, Vlad Blad Ultron 3 and Avenger 3 Pro. You can see how we got these softer, smoother transitions with the 3.5mm stroke and some densely colored black details with the 4.2mm stroke. I'm very pleased with this work. It was kind of a challenge for me to see how quickly I could finish it. The work looks clear, saturated, and well-defined, fitting well on the body.